Welcome everyone to another fabulous edition of Nick's Collectible Creations and the new N-scale layout build project thing video series here. This video I'm going to be drilling holes, running wire, and maybe we'll lay down a little bit of test track and run a train. So stay tuned. So in the last video we did the bench work and painted all the way around. So now it's time to get the mechanical systems taken care of, and that's something I want to do before I start laying track and anything else on top. I want to get the underside somewhat taken care of because I always never get to that, and so I'm going to get to that before I ever start anything else. We're going to run some bus wire somewhere kind of in the pattern. I have an idea of where the track's going to run for the DCC portion of it, right around in here, and come back around in here. We're going to have a loop of it. Going to come around. We've got some plugs, some connectors to set up over here to connect the three sections together. Kind of got the idea that this is going to be the main kind of control center section where the DCC connections are and the transformers and all that other fun stuff that's going to be on the underside. That's all going to be residing in this center section, and then I've got connectors that'll plug these two halves, this one and this one, into the main hub section thing, whatever you want to call it here. And that's my plan for this whole thing. So we'll see how that works. I hope it works good. So I'll show you what I've got for making all that happen. And that is this guy right here. These are really cool. These are solder connectors, not crimp connectors. So you shove the wire in each end, you heat it up with a little torch. I use a barbecue lighter, and it solders the wire together and heat shrinks it. These are really cool. These are $10 for the set of these. I highly recommend these if you're going to be doing any kind of wiring and soldering and stuff like that. You can also use a heat gun. They show you using a heat gun on that, but a barbecue lighter is cheaper and it works just fine. So this is what I'm going to be using to join the bus wiring to the connectors, and it's going to be soldered without using a soldering iron, and that is just really cool. So let's go ahead and get under the layout. We're going to be doing some manly drilling things and running of some wires, and hopefully we'll have some power, and maybe we'll be running a choo-choo train around the layout. I don't know, we'll see. Welcome to the underside of the layout. This is the, I'm going to call it the west section of the center section, or from the way I'm looking at it, the left hand side. So I got to drill holes in this right here, and the connector is going to hang down like this and connect to the other side. And I'm going to have to figure out something to, maybe I'll do them back here. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the connectors back here. I got to figure out a way to hang the connectors down that they're not in the way. But the first thing I've got to do is go ahead and drill this out, and we'll see if this one size is big enough for 2 wires. I'm just going to say that looks like a nice spot to go. And there we go. And now we've got a big mess on the floor. Let's see if that actually did anything that we need it to do. Alright, so I got the rolls of wire here. Let's see. I think that's plenty big enough. Yeah. Probably can actually just run all 4 through there. I think that's going to be big enough. So, alright. Now we'll move on to somewhere else on the layout to drill. Like maybe on the east side of the center section here, or as I'm facing it, the right side. So this is kind of sort of in this area right here. just like that. More wood mess on the floor. Let's just go ahead and double check to make sure our wires can stick through there. I know they can, but you know, yeah, that's gonna work. Gonna work just fine. All right. Now I got 2 more holes to drill, or 3 or 4. I don't know. We'll find out as the video progresses, I guess. I got at least 1 more I got to drill over here anyway. So let's go ahead and get to it. So on this side of the layout, this is the big 4-foot section back in the corner, and I went with 4 holes. I figure I'll keep this one separated just for convenience sake. Track power, accessory building, lighting, whatever power. And I did the same thing on this side over here. Accessory power, lighting, street lights, and track power right there. So this is just going to be one loop that comes around here, a bus wire comes around here, and I don't know, maybe loops back, we'll see. But I figured I may not end up using them, but I'm under here and I might as well go ahead and do it now. It's not going to hurt anything. So let's go ahead and get to the other side, the west end of the layout, and have some more hole drilling fun. And I got those 2 holes punched out on this side. We got 2 holes punched out on that side over there. And we got 2 more holes right here. So hopefully we'll be able to use these. Lighting and track power. I'm not exactly sure in which order, but probably the outer one I'm thinking so far is going to be the track power, lighting power. And you can see the carriage bolts I used over there to join the 2 sections to the middle section right there. Make it one nice big strong layout that way, and nothing's tied to the wall. That's the way I like it. I got to figure out something over here to hang the wire from, but I can probably get some little screw hook things or something. Alright, well, I'm going to vacuum up my mess here and come back and we'll run some wiring under here and do the connectors and all that fun stuff, I think. So doing this wiring job, adding these connectors to the bus wires, is really easy. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to open these up, and you know, the plexus just kind of breaks wherever it wants to, so that's always nice. So there we go. We got this open. So we'll get 2 of those out, and we'll get 2 of the other sides out here. Just like so. Seal these back up to keep their freshness. Make sure not to let that plastic go bad, right? There we go. So these are already pre-stripped. Well, they're, you know, they're separated there, so you just go whoop, and there you go. I'm wiring the section. I think I'll do this for the. I'll use these for the center section and these for the side sections. Boom, done. Decision made. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our trusty snippers and strippers, and we're just going to lop off a chunk here. Maybe just a little bit more than that. There we go. Like so. We're just going to we're just going to lop off the section here, like so. And we're just going to kind of do that. So this thing says here that 14 to 16 gauge is the blue. So we're going to use the blue. We got lots of blues. We're just going to go ahead and get ourselves a couple of the blues. Okay. I actually probably personally would use the red. Red is for 18 to 22, but it gets in there a little bit tighter on the wire. Anyway, we'll just do, for the sake of this video, we'll just do what the instruction says. See, the blue one, the wire just goes all the way through really easily. See, I like it to not be that easy. So I'm going to do the red ones because I've done this before with these things, and I just know that works better for this size of wire. So we're going to take this and we're going to just kind of mush the little wires together in there. Something like that. If the camera will focus on that. Just run that back like so. So now we've got everything in the center. So then we'll just heat this up with our trusty BBQ lighter. And I like to get that flame right over the center. Just, you know, get it really good there. And you can start hearing it popping and sizzling. You can see the solder melt in the joint. So I'm just run that heat down, the heat shrink there. As you can see, we've got a nice soldered joint. Let it cool off a little bit, then give it a tug. Whew, that baby stays hot for a while. And that's all you gotta do. No electricity, it's just a little old-fashioned caveman fire. And, well, I have one of these, but you can just use regular wire cutters or your teeth and just, you know, that wire right off. So there you go. That's how you do it. Nice and easy. Gets the job done. Barb's your uncle. Give that a tug. We're good to go. Now if that all slipped apart, we would have to do this over again. But it didn't, so we're good. And again, these are like 10 bucks for this kit on Amazon. Very, very nice to have. And yeah, so I'm going to get this job done off camera, and we'll come back and show the results. Alright, so those connectors are now installed. I decided to run down the center, and they all fit through that hole, so that's good. 2 bus wires for the DCC and 2 for the LED lighting on the layout. So that section is wired and ready to go. Now I just got to do the rest of the layout. Okay, so I've completed the bus wiring under this portion of the layout right here. This is kind of my test area, I guess. Why? Because it's the easiest to get to, if I'm to be completely frank. So let's go under there. I've already been under there several times, crawling around like a 3-year-old baby. So let's do it one more time. I'll show you what I've got done under this section of the layout. So first off, this is the end of the layout where the loop goes around woo, like that. So I drilled those holes right there. Bus wire for the 5 volt and the DCC track wiring. I strapped it up to the sides here. This is stuff I had laying around, so I didn't have to go and buy anything. These wire loom holder bracket things, I can't remember what they're called now. Anyway, I had a package of 6 of those. I used 4 of them in this section. I just kind of pulled taut the wiring over here, and it's in somewhat close proximity to the trackage up in here. So when I run my feeder wire, it's not a very long run. Same thing with the building wiring. I don't know where any of that's going to go yet, so that should be completely fine. I don't know there's going to be a whole lot of buildings on this end of the layout anyway. Going over here, it's got splitting going kind of back into the center section is the building wiring, so I figured there's probably going to be some buildingage in this area, in the center area of the layout. So I've got the track wiring bus here, going all the way down, back over there, and I got strapped around. Now what I've got over there is where it all hooks back together, the business end of the wiring harness. So I've got the track bus wiring running back there. So I'm in close proximity to that piece of track that I'm probably going to have running back in this area here. So that'll be a nice, easy, short run to connect it up to. And I use these terminal, these I don't know what they call terminal joiner things. I had a pack of them, so they're 14, 16 gauge, so they work perfect for this. So I just connected the end of the bus wiring back to itself over here, and so that way it's basically split in half as far as the current draw goes. So instead of the current having to travel, 10, 12 feet, however long this is, I didn't measure it, it's only having to travel about half of that because it's splitting basically right here. So, and N-scale doesn't draw that much amperage anyway, so the 16 gauge and 14 gauge wiring that I'm using here, I think this is 14 gauge, is going to be just fine. It's perfectly fine to go up to like 50 feet or something like that. I'm not going to exceed that, even close to that. So anyway, I got another one of those wire loom holder things right there, holding it all up there. So it's nice and tucked out of the way, but I can still get to it. We've got some lobotomy spikes right there poking out, not too bad. I'm not planning to be under here anyway. But yeah, so that's what I have come up with for wiring this section of the layout. So I'm going to apply that to the remaining sections, center section, which is, I just need to kind of hang that wiring up a little bit. I got to do that bad boy over yonder, but like I said, this is the easier section for me to get to, so that's the one I'm going to be working on mostly right at the moment. I really should be working on that one. I should work on the hard one first. A smart guy would, but so that's where we're at, and it's going to work out just fine for my purposes. Dadgum, it's bright in here. Those monsters are bright in this little room. Anyway, gotta wear shades. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. The initial bus wiring of the layout, I think, is, we'll see. I'm going to call it a success for now until it's not. So I don't know where any of this is going to lay out because I need to lay the track down. I need to figure out, if I like the pattern. So far, this is what I've got that I'm messing with. I kind of like that, and that's why I've got the backtrack kind of coming through the center divide right here. It's taller than the HO layout, but that's going to get cut down eventually. I did drop the HO layout down. This is about 22 inches from here to here. So, and that looks nice to me. It's a nice height for me, and it's about 5 foot or so. Got my DD40 sitting here resting comfortably. And yeah, this is 22-inch radius Bachmann Easy Track. I'm going to probably use this because it's going to be a biatch to get back there. And this is the idea was to be able to just slide this off the bracketry that I got under there, and you know, do work on it, put it back up. So yeah, it hangs out a little bit. The HO side of things, I'm planning on primarily focusing on 4-axle locomotives and smaller box cars and tank cars, kind of like this weathered one I did several years ago. I think I had a video on this on the channel. So anyway, that's where we're at so far, guys, and I'm going to end the video right here. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back for some more something or another's in the next video. I can't tell you what because I don't know exactly what. So alright guys, peace out.